This episode is brought to you by Elevate OS, the only all-in-one community operating system. Elevate OS transforms property management, combining resident engagement, reservations, rent payments, maintenance, and concierge services into a single super app. It also uniquely integrates access control, intercoms, package lockers, and thermostats, eliminating app fatigue and redefining modern apartment living. Visit elevateos.com/MMN for a free demo and see how they can help you level up your operations. Welcome to another episode of the Multifamily Collective. Today, let's start out by edifying, drawing attention to, bringing some recognition to Suzanne Hopson in her new podcast. I say it's new. Suzanne has been a podcast host on the Multifamily Media Network for some bit of time. She used to be part of the Decoding Multifamily podcast, where she co-hosted with Paul Marks, but now she has ventured out on her own. She has her own independent podcast called Multifamily Elevated. Her most recent episode with Donald Davidoff is a must-watch rather. I just want to draw attention to that podcast. If you have not or you are not subscribed to Suzanne's podcast, I would highly encourage you to get over there and subscribe now. Now, what are we talking about today? Let's talk about bees. Spring is in the air. I know it's still winter in many areas of the country, if not all over the country, even if you're not impacted by snow and cold weather. Those of you in Florida hear me now, but it is winter, but spring is in the air. I read a story today. It's actually a podcast over on the JLL podcast network. Let's see what their podcast is called. It's called Trends and Insights with JLL. They had an interesting post this morning called How Beehives Are Becoming the Next Big Building Amenity. Now, I believe in the story, we're talking about office buildings, rooftop gardens, where beehives are brought in, obviously, to pollinate flowers and foliage in and around, say, an urban setting. Obviously, an urban setting. But it was just interesting to me. And this is in Canada, and I think they're trying to make their way into the United States with this concept. And it's an interesting concept to me because I think bees. I have a beehive. I haven't put it together yet. It was a birthday present several years ago because I wanted to put together a beehive. But we've moved around a couple of times since that gift was given to me, so I haven't been able to set it up. I haven't taken the time to set it up. It looks quite complicated, like a puzzle. But all that aside, I think bees are an incredibly interesting insect in the world, and they have a very important contribution that they make to the world. Now, I want to share something that, whether you believe it's placebo or it's true or it's not, it works for me. So I'm sharing it. I'm not a doctor. Let me start by saying that. But every year around this time, I start eating a teaspoon of local. It has to be local. If you hear nothing else, it has to be local honey. But I eat a teaspoon of local honey every morning before I have my shake, or after I have my protein shake, after I have a cup of coffee, or before I have a cup of coffee. It doesn't matter. I eat a teaspoon of honey very first thing in the morning. And the theory is that by eating local honey, you're giving yourself a little bit of a hedge on allergies for the upcoming season. By getting some of that into your system, you're hedging yourself against really bad allergic reactions to pollen or whatever else might be out in the air these days. But that bee honey is kind of a hedge against that. Now, I've been doing that for years. I used to have really bad allergies when I was a child. And to the point, they do those things where they come in and they put all kinds of things on your back to help present what the allergies are. I had allergies to grass and some trees. And anyway, long story short, I've been taking this teaspoon of honey, used to take shots and all this other stuff, but actually got tired of all of that. And I read about this and I started doing this. And again, whether it's placebo or not, it works for me. It doesn't completely eradicate allergies, but it certainly mutes, if I'm doing a compare and contrast in my life, my experience with allergies. Teaspoon of honey, local has to be local, but this is a cool amenity, not only for all the obvious benefits germane to nature, but if you're able to produce some honey on site and you're able to give that or sell that to your residents. Obviously, you have to watch out for bee stings. Some people are very highly allergic to bees, so you've got to have a hedge of protection in place for that if you do decide to put bees hives on your property. But if you do, very cool. Could have some ancillary benefits to your residents and to the people in the community. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.